Another broadcast of the Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Thursday mornings at 9:30 at the Lorain County Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings, and as always, you are invited to attend.
Please rise for the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Commissioner Blair could not be available. Her husband had some surgery yesterday, so I heard he was doing well, so she will not be attending today's meeting. Madam Clerk?
Under the appointments at 10 a.m., there will be the first public hearing on the CDBG FY04 program, and then at 10:15, Rita C. McMahon, the Painesville City Manager, a member of the Ohio City County Managers Association, will present an award to the board for their financial commitment to the 5 Main Street programs. Under Resolution Number 1, Job and Family Services Bills.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Investments.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Appropriations.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Transfers.
So moved.
Second, with an exception of number 13 out of 14.
What was it?
The PSI study for $20,000.
I'm sorry, what was it?
The PSI study.
Do you want it?
Yeah, please. Oh, watch it. What number was that?
Number 13.
That was the one from last week.
Oh, for the asbestos?
No,
Which,
that's just the environmental study.
oh,
Jim, you want to say something?
Well, you had some questions last week on
Right.
this, and we went back and took a look at it, and I believe your specific question was the amount of money that we paid to have similar work done on our properties on Broad Street and on Depot Street with the former train station. All in cost, there was 2 different studies, and all in cost there was $13,000. This is merely a transfer of funds to the appropriate account. The actual dollar amount of the work is still being negotiated, and a contract would have to come back to this board for approval. So I can't give you an idea of exactly how much it's going to cost, but I anticipate it being, substantially less than $20,000. But when you move money, you just move enough to be on the safe side. This is not general fund money, this is project money, and if it's not utilized, it'll return back to the project. But I need to point out that you're not spending any money here. You're merely placing it in a position where, when those contracts come to you, you'll be able to approve them without having to worry about whether the appropriate money is in the appropriate account.
And did you, was it PSI that did the other work on Broad Street?
I believe so, yes, sir.
Okay, could you give me a copy of all the numbers you just said, the 13,000?
Sure.
The
But there was
breakdown. I'd like to
there was
get-
2 different studies.
Yeah, I'd like to take a look at the costs in the 2 studies on that.
okay. So we'll hold that one.
No, just an exception to it, we just vote on it, and we're done. So, we'll just wait till next week.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye, with my exception.
Advances or repayments.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Requisitions.
So moved.
I think I'm okay on this one. I'll second. Yep,
Discussion.
done.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Travel expenses.
So moved.
I'll second, with the exceptions to 85, 86, 89, 90, 91, 93, and 107.
And what are those?
see that circle there.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, a minute.
No, no exception.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Bills?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Number 9, authorize various personnel actions as indicated on the summary sheet for employees within the jurisdiction of Lorain County Board of Commissioners.
So move.
I'll second with exceptions to number 1 and 3. I'd rather wait till next week on 1 and 3.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Under Commissioners, number 10, award the copy of paper bid experts in the total amount of $86,174.64 for the administration building at $58,621.36 and Lorain County Department of Job and Family Services at $27,554.28. This was the only bid received.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Authorize salary increase of Richard Swartz, Magistrate, Elyria Municipal Court, effective retroactive to July 27, 2003, an increase from $947.63 to $973.69, and effective January 11, 2004, an increase from $973.69 to $1,049.88, which reflects the county's 2/5 share.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Under sanitary engineer, authorize release of retainage in the amount of $4,448 to Bay Mechanical and Electrical Corporation, Lorain, Ohio, for work performed on the Cresthaven wastewater treatment plant. This project is complete, being approved by the sanitary engineer with all the necessary paperwork being received.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Mr. Cortez, County Administrator?
No comments or reports this morning, thank you.
Mr. Innes, Assistant County Prosecutor?
I have no report this morning.
Commissioners report.
Commissioner Vacy?
Yeah, I just have one thing that I wanted to discuss. And I took off on Bob Kish's idea from last week about the Veterans Memorial and talked to Ken Carney about it. And someone else from the audience sent a picture over of a bridge in Mahoning County that has a sign for Veterans Memorial. This one is for the Korean War veterans, but I would like for the county to do a couple of them. Ken's looking at a bridge, and he's thinking about one close to Vermillion, and where it has grass, and we can put some benches and stuff, and he'll put the sign up there. But instead of naming one segment of wars like this one has Veterans Memorial, I would like to just have Veterans Memorial. This one has the Korean War veterans. But I think we should just put veterans on there. But anyway, Ken and I are working on that, and I'm going to get with the Veterans Association to work on that one. But another thought is the property over here that we purchased by Moss, that's, in my opinion, I'm thinking we're going to have that vacant, but I'd like to have a beautiful memorial there for veterans, honoring all the veterans, and then grass and benches and flags from every arm of the service. And I think it would be beautiful. I'd like to know what the board thinks about that.
We talked about that with the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, but they felt it wasn't big enough at the time.
Over by the Mosses?
Mhm.
Well, aren't we going to, we're thinking about dropping the bowling alley and stuff too, and if we do, there would probably be a lot of land there.
That'd be
And they
good.
could have
That'd
services and
be-
whatever.
Well, that would be a good idea. I like the idea. I'd like to know how many county bridges we have. So if you're going to talk to Ken, ask him how many county bridges we actually have. And maybe we could do something where we could identify each bridge. With
Each bridge?
Well, I don't know how many bridges we have, but
We have a lot.
I think we have a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of bridges.
But some of them are just, you wouldn't even recognize
Exactly.
them as bridges as you're going over.
Yeah.
There's quite a few.
He wanted one that would be visible and that there would be space for benches and stuff, so. But anyway, I wanted to run that by you. Actually, that's all I have.
Okay. It was kind of nice having breakfast again this morning and reading the paper and seeing that our county administrator made some decisions, and I had to read about it in the paper regarding transit, which I didn't think we were in charge of transit yet, but I thought I talked to Jim a little bit, and he said, go ahead, Dave, ask me the question, so So, Jim, it says here you were cutting services on our ridership, so I'll give you a chance to maybe respond to that. How's that?
Obviously, we don't run transit, and obviously I did make a decision to cut.
You did or you didn't? I didn't understand that word.
Did not.
Okay, thank you.
Although when discussed, I did respond that I recognize that those are some unproductive routes, and that's why the cuts were ultimately, I believe, made. But that decision was made by the transit folks and not the Board of Commissioners to restructure those routes.
Yeah, but did you not receive a memo on February 2nd, which says I knew nothing about this?
Well, actually, that was my memo to you.
To us, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Which there's a bunch of pamphlets that were passed around talking about all the changes, correct?
Those pamphlets were left at the desk by somebody, and I
okay.
received them, and since I knew that there may be some concern about what was going on, I felt compelled to send you a brief memo
I'm just
indicating
glad
that
you
I
guys,
wasn't.
when I read that, I thought, well, that's funny. I didn't know you were cutting routes, so I'm glad when you told me this morning that you were just as surprised as we were. Anything else you want to talk about transit? Any trips or anything?
Well, we had we were up in Chicago on Tuesday, and I'm pleased to let you know that there should be no any additional hurdles in the transition from the Transit Board to the County Commissioners with respect to the operations, who's going to be directing it in the future. I anticipate the March 4th date that we had established earlier to be doable. The prosecutor's office is working on some resolutions that will have to do, assuming certain assets and capital and accounts. The Federal Transportation Authority was very agreeable when I was in Chicago. We had met all their parameters. We discussed some issues for future looks at what transit may or may not look like in the future, and discussed the situation with the financial assistance locally and some of the things the county was experiencing and how tough it was to continue a high level of assistance because of our own drags on the general fund budget, and they understood that. And, the week before that, I had been down in Columbus meeting with the ODOT people, and that was another great meeting. That one lasted quite a long time. There were some very interesting people down there, and we discussed a lot of issues. So we've made a nice network of folks to work with during the transition, so I don't see any further obstacles to this occurring.
Jim, did you have an opportunity to talk with them about the funds that they give to the county? Because my understanding that a lot of the federal funds can only be used to purchase buses,
Well,
and it can't be used for other things, and I think that they should open that up if we wanted to put up shelters or use it for signs or...
they can be used for shelters, commissioners, can be used for signs, it can be used for bus lanes, it can be...
Are you sure? Because I know in the past I was told, and I really had to push to get shelters, money for shelters out of that money, because I was always told that it can only be used to purchase new buses.
Let me help you with that. I think maybe now that the commissioners are going to have a little bit more control over transit, I think we're going to see a little bit more.
I hope so.
Well, one of the things I'd like to see us do is partner with our solid waste department on some of those shelters too. We can use recycled materials, and we can use some of that funding that's available there.
But again, nothing will really transpire until after March 4th, correct?
Right, I
So,
think...
okay, well, I just wanted to bring up the fact that you were working this week on transit, and the way that the paper reported made it look like you made the decisions. At least that's how I saw it.
I understand.
And if I saw it that way, I figure a lot of other people saw it that way, so.
That I understand
Okay.
too.
So, that's all.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Is there any old business? Any new business?
None.
Board correspondence?
Move to be waived.
Second.
Discussion? Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Public comment.
Pell said that his new equipment will only go up to an hour and 20-some minutes. So when you see his hand go up, he's switching.
Now, we've probably been doing this for 10. I don't think we're going to hit that today. So.
No.
Well, as I said the last time, I'm Robert Kish, Larry, Ohio, 8 Cs. As I said last time, I was remiss and I missed my toast to the county. I found it.
Did you bring some jelly?
No drinking.
It's probably a week old.
No on-the-job drinking. Anyhow, it's not easy being green. Kermit said that, and I believe him. And what I want to talk about, if I can find it, is it's better than being green than being transparent. They say elephants have a good memory. I know a jackass can bray loudly. I know what World War II ground pounders were issued, 2 dog tags, which were worn on a beaded chain around their neck. I had one. I also know World War II war combat correspondent Ernie Pyle proudly referred to such troops as dog faces. They say when 2 elephants fight, the earth trembles, and it's the little guy, the ants, who get crushed. I say when an elephant and a donkey fight for votes, it's the underdogs who always get trampled. I do not mind being an underdog, but I do mind the privilege assumed by the top dogs. Do not forget to vote March the 2nd. The top dogs carry your favor now, but they will forget once they are in office. At least some of them will. Without the underdogs, there would be nobody appointed to office unless they got 1 vote each. Please vote for your sake, and I mean your sake. The truth is that only through the active participation of underdogs can effective government be achieved. Expeditious. The word was used out of context here. Chapter 2, expeditious. This word was used at a previous meeting by a commissioner in regards to the expeditious spending of taxpayer dollars. Dictionary definition: to speed up the progress of, accelerate, acting or performed with promptness and efficiency. Speedy, to execute quickly and efficiently. Where is the expeditious reply when a judge on this very floor has not had a response to his letter for over a year? Do we only spend taxpayer dollars speedily? Give me a break. If you don't vote for something, you vote for nothing. You decide on March the 2nd. Lift up your souls. Ask not what your county veterans can do for you. Ask what you can do for your county veterans. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Does anybody else have any public comment? We're not allowed to go earlier, are we?
No.
Okay. Then we'll move to take a 5-minute break. Do we need to move like that or just take it?
Just
Okay.
recess.
We'll just recess. Do you mind coming up to the podium and introducing yourselves?
Thank you very much. My name is Rita McMahon. I'm the city manager of the city of Painesville, and I'm the immediate past president of the Ohio City County Managers Association. And I have with me today Mr. Skip Trimble, who is also a former city manager, and he's our range rider now, which is a position that the City Manager Association has, goes out and assists various managers and communities with information. We're here today to present an award to Lorain County. About 2 years ago, we started the Ohio City County Managers Association, started an awards program to recognize communities, individuals, counties who are doing unique and different things. We find sometimes that we're not really taking the accolades that I think a lot of our membership and a lot of the communities and counties throughout the state should, so we figured we'd celebrate ourselves, which is something we really haven't done much of. There were 5 different categories, and awards not necessarily awarded in every category every year. This year we were fortunate to be able to award 2 awards in the Intergovernmental Cooperation Award category, with the Lorain County Commissioners being one of those award winners. And if I can read a little bit, this is for the 5 Main Street Group program that had been started. The application was submitted by Ron Twining, of your Planning and Development Department. And it basically, it was an attempt of the county to address as it said, the disintegration of the downtown areas in the cities of Lorain, Elyria, Amherst, and Oberlin and Wellington in Lorain County, which were adversely affecting the city's tax bases and the quality of life of their citizens. The Lorain County Board of County Commissioners appropriated $500,000, $100,000 a year for 5 years, for the development, establishment, and/or support of the 5 Main Street groups. Each group has developed its own organization to address the concerns about their downtown areas. The resulting project in the 5 local communities has received awards, raised additional funds, forged new partnerships, and created additional investment in the area. And so we felt that this was a unique program. It's unusual to see counties making the direct investment, sometimes directly into their communities, and felt it was in need and support of recognition by our association. So Skip and I are here today to present this award to the county commissioners. I believe someone was at the at our state association meeting last week. I was unable to attend that meeting, so I'm pleased to be able to be here today, and on behalf of the Ohio City County Managers Association, present to you this award for intergovernmental cooperation.
Thank you. How you doing?
Good.
Nice to meet you.
Congratulations.
Come on in.
Thank you. Really
Come on in. There's
be someone other county
Well, there-
following.
Oh, yes. There we go. She's waiting to take her. You got it?
Take one more.
Okay. Thanks. Thank you.
That's yours?
Oh, okay. Okay. Madam Clerk?
The public hearing on the CDBG.
Well, that was no motion whatsoever. It was. I gotta say now. Here's Kelly.
Kelly, you're up and ready.
There you
Go
go.
ahead.
Now I'm ready.
Good morning. This is the first CDBG public hearing for fiscal 2004. The purpose of this hearing is to provide the State of Ohio's fiscal year Community Development Block Grant CDBG program guidelines, general objectives, and how the anticipated federal allocation to the State of Ohio will be delivered or budgeted. This public hearing gives us the opportunity to hear from persons, organizations, or officials throughout the county concerning what exists in our community that can be funded through the use of CDBG funds. A program overview. This is the 30th anniversary for the Housing and Community Development Act that was passed in 1974 and amended in 1992. Funding for HUD entitlement communities is dispersed directly from the federal government, whereas small city CDBG allocation is dispersed by each respective state. The Act established 3 national objectives. An activity must meet at least one of the following national objectives to utilize CDBG funds. It must benefit low and moderate income persons and/or households, or aid in the elimination of slum and blighted conditions, or meet an urgent community development need. The Act also established eligible community development activities which can be funded with CDBG funds. These include, but are not limited to, activities designed to create jobs for low to moderate income persons, i.e. the Lorain County Revolving Loan Fund, provisions of housing, improvement of housing stock, and related public facility improvements such as home repair, down payment assistance, or public parks as an example of these activities. Activities designed to remove architectural barriers such as ADA door openers and public buildings. Certain types of public service activities could be a Meals on Wheels program. These activities can be undertaken as long as they meet one of the 3 national objectives as specified above. The state plan. The fiscal year 2004 consolidated plan program summary provides a synopsis of the State Department of Development's funding plan. The 4 categories include housing, shelter, and support programs, 2 community development programs, 3 economic development programs, 4 general administration. Lorain County has traditionally participated in all 4 of the programs from varying degrees. Our participation is known as CHIP, Formula Grant Program, Economic Development, and General Admin, respectively. The housing, shelter, and support program known as CHIP, the Community Housing Improvement Program, Lorain County was previously awarded a CHIP grant for fiscal year 2000. The administration of that grant was completed in August of 2003. Lorain County was funded with a new CHIP grant in September of 2003. This year, Lorain County will be updating its Community Housing Improvement Strategy, which is known as the CHIS. The CHIS must be updated every 3 years in order to apply for a CHIP grant. Lorain County's last CHIS was updated in 2000. Community Development Program Formula Grant. Lorain County is an acquired county. An acquired county means the population of the county is less than 200,000 after entitlement cities' populations have been subtracted. In Lorain County, there are two entitlement cities, Elyria, with a population of 55,953, and Lorain, the city of Lorain, with a population of 68,652. In addition, the cities that receive a 2004 allocation amount greater than 50,000 will be expected to administer their own formula grant. North Ridgeville is the only community in Lorain County that fits this criteria. Lorain County's total population is 284,664. After entitlement cities' populations have been subtracted, the county's population is approximately 160,000. Therefore, Lorain County is classified as an acquired county. Once Lorain County's population reaches 200,000 after subtracting the entitlement cities, the county can become an entitlement county. This means the county will receive its funds directly from HUD rather than the state of Ohio. This is not likely to happen for another 20 years. Other program funds available under this heading include water and sanitary sewer facilities, down payment revitalization, community distress, and imminent threat, typically health and safety concerns. The Lorain County Community Development Department anticipates applying for a community distress grant on behalf of Sheffield Township for fiscal 2004 in order to address such issues as drainage, street improvements, and other various issues facing the township. The state of Ohio has allocated $3 million for CDBG funds for this program. The maximum grant request cannot exceed $300,000. This is a competitive grant that must be matched dollar for dollar. Within the next 60 days, we expect to receive our formula grant fund allocation notification from the Ohio Department of Development. Lorain County was allocated $452,000 for fiscal 2003. We expect to receive an amount near what the 2003 allocation was. The second required public hearing regarding the formula and community distress grants will be conducted on June 17, 2004 at 10 o'clock. Between February 6th and May 21st of 2004, the county will be accepting applications from communities and organizations for formula grant requests. Letters of notification of available funds have been prepared and will be mailed no later than Monday, February the 9th, 2004. The formula and community distress applications must be submitted to the Ohio Department of Development by Friday, July 16th of 2004. The Economic Development Program. Funds are used primarily for job creation, business retention, or attraction. Lorain County has utilized economic development funds to establish our county revolving loan fund program, as well as to provide infrastructure improvement funds such as the installation or extension of public water and sewer facilities. Funds have been used to assist in the acquisition of buildings and equipment. Funds have also been made available for the creation of the Lorain County Microloan Program. Administration. CDBG funds can be used to operate fair housing, general admin, and planning efforts. 15% of the county's allocation can be used for administrative costs. An example, fiscal 2003, the county is retaining $52,000 for general admin from the formula grant program. In addition, each local jurisdiction must complete a community assessment strategy, which is known as a CAS survey, prior to submitting a CDBG application. The purpose of a CAS is to identify a community's needs. Each need is to be prioritized. The CAS is a planning document that must be updated annually and must be included with the county's formula grant application. The items cannot be removed from the CAS until they have been addressed by the community. A survey will be distributed to each community requesting funding for Lorain County's formula grant in order to assist the county in implementing the CAS. It is mandatory that a community assessment strategy survey be submitted by all political jurisdictions that are applying for CDBG funding. A sample cast has been provided for your review. If you turn to the back sheet, it's on there. And a number 1 means that that is our priority item for that community, and a number 2 means it needs to be addressed, but it's not a priority item. And you'll see where the CAS looks at infrastructure needs, public facility needs, housing, and the slum and blighted areas. And those are all dealing with the national objective for CDBG funding. In conclusion, the state of Ohio produces annually a consolidated plan. The current plan will be released in March. If you have any questions regarding the consolidated plan, please contact the Lorain County Community Development Department at 440-328-2324. Now, are there any questions?
Is there any questions from the audience regarding this? Any other comments?
I have a question. Kelly, I have a question. I don't know if you or Ron can answer it. I imagine you can. But can the county use CDBG funds for what might be considered a blighted area within a entitlement community?
No. The entitlement communities, HUD funds would have to be utilized for that, for those type of fundings for that project.
Because I was thinking over here by the bowling alley and that area, would that be considered blighted?
I'll let Ron take that one.
Well, hey, let me take that.
Okay.
Commissioner, before we can, there would have to be a blight study done first. And I believe that the city has done some studies over in that area, but I'm not sure what the outcome of those studies were. But we couldn't do that as a county, but we could participate with the city.
Yeah, I'm
in doing
thinking
that
maybe to
study.
get some funds for that area if it's considered a...
Now, it's also, right now, it's a distressed area, if I'm not mistaken, Ron, right? Right, so that allows it to apply for some other additional funding, but it would have to be through the city, not through the county. Maybe you can help me with that, sorry.
I can answer it. Okay, yes, the city would have to do that, and what they would have to do is pass an ordinance declaring that as a blighted area. And then they can apply for HUD funds, HUD
But you have to do a
CDBG
blight
funds.
study first.
Yes, they have to do the blight study first, then declare it blighted, pass an ordinance, and then submit that to HUD to get CDBG funds for that.
Jim, would you look into that, or Ron, because maybe we could use some of that money for the train depot?
There's one other thing, Mary Jo, and you're right on the money. There's a program that's through CDBG at the state that we could apply for, and did apply a year ago for $360,000, I think it was, for downtown improvements. At this point, we have been informed by the state nearly a year ago that because it's in the entitlement city, they were not going to fund it. We have responded back to them saying, but it's county-owned facility, therefore we are taking jurisdiction that it's not necessarily. We can use CDBG funds on county property, as we did with the ADA door openers and things in this building. At this point, the state has said, you're posing a very good question, and we're not making a ruling at this point. When we get our money in alignment, we may very well approach the city and try and do a cooperative thing, not only under slum and blight, but also under the downtown improvement. So we're working on that now, but it's an excellent question.
Do you have any other questions? Bob?
I don't know if we can lift ourselves up by our bootstraps, but if this falls through, is there a possibility of floating a county bond, city bond, joint bond that can possibly be a tax-free bond that were the people that would subscribe to it in the county would earn 4.5% rather than 0.5% at the bank? That's about all I have to say.
Are there any additional comments or questions?
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay.
Do we have to close the public hearing, Jerry? I move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
6:25, I move to adjourn.
Second.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Thursday mornings at 9:30 at the Lorain County Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings, and as always, you are invited to attend.